Hi guys, it's Amy Sangster here, the co-founder of Infinite Prosperity, and I wanted to share something really important with you today. I'm asked all the time for a formula of how to get from point A to point B, and if I had to explain it in a really simplified manner, this would be it. So in my opinion, the golden formula to get you from here to here is manifestation plus goal setting. And although it sounds very simple, they're often widely misunderstood on what each are, and people generally don't really know how to carry out both in an effective way. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today and hopefully shed some light on both and fill you in on a little bit of how I do it. Let me first start by explaining the difference between the two in my opinion. Goal setting to me is like getting in a car and using a GPS to set a destination. You get in, you do the work, you drive following the very specific directions that it gives you to an end point. You're physically doing the work, but you know exactly how to get there, and you get there in the end. Manifesting, on the other hand, is much simpler. To me, manifesting is when you attract something and it comes to you. There's still work involved in manifesting, but it feels a lot more effortless. So let me share with you now my goal setting formula. It doesn't need to be so overcomplicated. You know, people spend tens of thousands of dollars, they go to these seminars, and they really overcook a very simple idea. Goal setting, I can explain it in 3 steps. And if you do 3 steps, which is what most people fail to do, they don't do all 3, then you will get from point A to point B, I promise you. Firstly, number 1, decide on your goal. Be very, very clear, very specific, and write that down. If it's a car that you want, I'll use that because it's a common example, especially with me. If it's a car that you want, what color is the car? What year is the car? What dealership are you going to get the car from? Every single thing that you can think of about this car, write it down, be very clear, very specific. Step 2 is also ridiculously basic. Write down every single thing that you need to do to achieve that goal. So this is the part that most people skip, and this is why no one really gets anywhere. So write down in ridiculous detail all the action steps that you need to take to get you from point A to point B. Most people don't do this, so if you're doing this, you're already ahead of most of the population. If you're using trading as an example, as a vehicle to get you there, then you need to write down things like, how long is it going to take me to learn about trading? Once I'm skilled, how much money am I going to start trading with? What time of day do I need to be sitting down at my computer, and how long for? How many deposits can I make every month to really grow that account and compound it? Things like that you need to be very, very specific about so that you wake up with absolute clarity every single day of what you have to do to get you where you want to be. Step 3 is probably the most ridiculous step that you'll ever hear. It's the most simple part, but it's also the most important part that most people never ever do. Step 3 is doing everything you wrote down in step 2. So most people, you know, they might have a dream or a goal. That's pretty common. Step 2, some people write it down, some people may not, but step 3, most people never ever do. You know, even if you've got the goal, you've got it written down, if you don't do anything to act on it, it doesn't mean anything. You know, most people that you look up to when you see all the houses and the cars or whatever it is that you want to attain, that they have, those people have acted daily to get there. It's just little action chunks that build up into this grand scale thing, but it's the little day in, day out habits that they've written down, they've systemized very, very clearly, and they've acted on that have gotten them to that point. I know it sounds ridiculously simple, almost too simple, but that's all goal setting needs to be. Have a vision, have a goal, be very specific about what you want. Write down every single thing that you need to do to get there, and then go and do it. You don't need a big elaborate goal setting formula. Those 3 things, if you do them, 100% of the time you'll get there. A lot of people have this airy-fairy view of manifesting, and they think it's, you know, like The Secret is popularly talked about, you know, envisioning a car and it'll just show up in your garage. I absolutely 100% do not believe that, and I don't want anyone to mistake manifesting for an airy-fairy process. It's actually quantum physics. So quantum physics says that everything is made up of atoms, which are made of particles that we call quanta. So these quanta are described as energy vibrating at a certain frequency, and just like people, they tend to hang out in groups, and they hang out in groups of similar types. So quanta vibrating at a certain frequency will attract more quanta vibrating at that same frequency. I'm sure you've heard the saying that everything is energy in motion, and that's because at a subatomic level, everything is just vibrating particles, vibrating energy, everything is moving. So thoughts are also just energy in motion, and whatever thoughts we choose, we're actually attracting and drawing to ourselves thoughts that vibrate on that same frequency. Thoughts or things that vibrate on that same frequency. This is where the saying that like attracts like comes from. It's also known as the law of attraction. So you might have witnessed it in action on a really busy, stressful day when you're trying to get somewhere, you've got somewhere to be, and you're running late, and you're getting every single red light, and everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And that's because you're literally vibrating on a frequency that is attracting more of that to you. So in that moment, breathe, get on a different frequency, change your thoughts, change what you're attracting, and the things that you're attracting will change. Something that I do to get on the right frequency every single morning is I go for a walk with my dog and I get really, really present. And I work on getting any unnecessary thoughts, any limiting thoughts, any limiting beliefs out of my head. I generally don't have that many anymore, but every so long they creep in. You know, there's no point at which self-development becomes irrelevant. So I work on ridding myself of anything that's not going to help me achieve what I want to achieve that day. And then I find a beautiful place to sit. And I sit down and I get really, really present with my breath. And I just focus on breathing. So many people, you know, we do the day like this and our shoulders are tense and we don't ever just breathe, you know. That's why so many people are addicted to smoking. They say it's not so much because of the nicotine, but it calms them down because they're actually slowing down their breath and breathing. So make sure you get really, really present and focus on your breath. And then I kind of close my eyes and I start visualizing every single thing that I'd like to attract into my life, whether it's a person, a situation, an event, a material thing, an outcome. And I get so present with it that I actually feel as though I already have it. And that's a step that I think that most people miss. You know, they don't really truly feel, they're kind of hoping and dreaming. They don't feel like it's theirs yet. If you do it properly, there have been times where I've cried, there have been times where I've gotten goosebumps, but if you really truly feel it, you'll know. And that's when you know that you're manifesting properly, when you truly feel as though these things are already around you. And if you make a commitment to doing this and feeling this way as much as you can, so if you do that in the morning and then you notice by 10 a.m. you're already kind of on a different frequency again, do it again. You can do it in your car, you can do it in your office, you can do it anywhere. Anywhere that you are, you can do it. So get present as much as you can and really feel like you already have everything that you want. And that's how you get on a frequency to really attract that. So that's just what I do. Like I said, there are so many different methods out there that you really need to find what resonates with you. But for me, it is meditating, visualizing, and music. All things that just make me feel like I have something, or they really bring out an emotion in myself that is on the same frequency as what I want to attract. So that's my ridiculously simple but ridiculously effective formula for success, or getting from point A to point B in an effortless way. I think that a lot of people misunderstand what goal setting really is, and they kind of just have it as this hope and dream. So I hope by explaining those 3 steps and getting you to realize that you have to actually set very clear intentions, set very clear action steps, and then actually do the work, that kind of clarifies that area for you. And then I hope that I've effectively explained that manifesting just helps you to attract that to you. You know, you don't have to struggle and fight by just doing the goal setting section. I think a lot of people just struggle and they're kind of swimming upstream. Whereas by using the combination of the 2, I found that anything that I've wanted, that I've achieved, it's kind of come in an effortless way. I've definitely put in effort and work to get there, a lot of it, but it's felt more effortless. You know, the right opportunities have arisen and I have been on the right frequency to receive these. So I hope by sharing that brings you guys some clarity, and it helps you on your journey, and it helps you to feel better about everything and feel more clear on everything as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I really appreciate your feedback. Let us know if there's anything else that you want us to speak about, because we do endeavor to do more of these little content chunks if you find them valuable, and we'll be posting them here on the blog. So I really appreciate your time and for you watching this video, and I hope you have an amazing day.